my entire life. And I'm starting to think like, man, everybody in my hometown is still poor.
Yeah.
Man, all the black neighborhoods are still poor. They all go to schools, and we've been voted Democratic for 59 years. I've been on the earth.
Remember what Atlanta is. Dead center capital. There's no coincidence that they built Atlanta, Georgia right over there. And it's named Atlanta, Georgia. And what was we called before we was just all this other shit? What was we before we was all this? Atlanteans. It's no coincidence that they named that Atlanta, Georgia. And it's Black Hollywood. Because in our souls and spirit, the reason why we love Atlanta so much is because we remember that was the most energetic point on the whole planet. One of, if not the most energetic point on the whole planet, was Atlanta, Georgia.
Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and I haven't done this in a minute, but when I do it, niggas get cooked, and there is no coming back. Let me just give you a disclaimer. Don't try to continue this. You won't win unless you sick your followers on me. So I was scrolling through. I follow this dude. I like his comedy. Comedian Marvin 1. And his caption read, Wi-Fi and podcast equipment should require background checks to have, right? I'm assuming he was insinuating that the young boy didn't sound too bright. And he was spewing conspiracy rhetoric, right? Now, while he was, and I commented, says the guy voting for the faux black woman, but I digress. Let that young man cook, even if his brain is overheating. While he did sound plenty stupid, I find it ironic that this nigga had the audacity, not the nerve, not the goal, the audacity to make fun and poke light at this, you know what I'm saying, unintelligent young man. But he did. And my jab at him about saying that he's voting for the faux black woman is because he's put up all these videos. I'm assuming that he's Democratic and he's going to vote for Kamala because she's a faux black woman, right? Perpetrating a fraud. I know I'm light skinned, but I mean, just because you got a little bit of melanin in you, that don't make you black. And it hasn't been proven without a shadow of a doubt that her dad is technically an Afro-Jamaican, but I digress. What I will say is, fuck the fact that she's pandering that she's black when she's ethnically not. Even if she did have Jamaican ancestry, and Google used to say Indo-Jamaican. There's a lot of Indian people there, migrated through the 60s. That's a whole nother story though. Even if she did have a parent that was half Jamaican, half Irish, that would make her 25%. Genetics don't work like that, but I digress on that. That wouldn't make her technically black. That would make her of Caribbean descent, which is not the same as ethnically and racially black. Black Americans are racially, ethnically black. People who are Jamaican or come from the Caribbean or African are actually only racially because they appear to be like black people. Black. They're not actually ethnically black. They have the titles for that. Caribbean. I know some Afro Latinos and shit like that, and they have Dominican Republic, and you got Puerto Ricans and some Africans actually identify with the African lineage. However, ethnically they all consider themselves Caribbean. And same thing with Africans. They have different tribes that actually specify their ethnicity. So the fact that she's not even like a quarter Jamaican, the fuck we calling her a black woman? I got an aunt that's high yellow like that, but they don't make her black. And we get the best. Kamala Harris is racially ambiguous. But never mind that. The fact that him and every other Democratic voter, namely black folks, are voting for these motherfuckers and they ain't did shit for us. And go down the line. I'm not even gonna go to the fact that the KKK was founded by Democrats. And we're not. And if you want to pull that shit about the Republicans ain't promising us shit either, yeah, at least they keeping their shit funky. They not offering nothing and we ain't asking them. The Democrats are actually vying for our vote. They're begging to the point where they got to send Obama out there to chastise us because we ain't voting for that bitch. And we ain't buying the bullshit. And they ain't did shit for us for, I want to say 60 years. Ever since Jimmy Carter with the Welfare Reform Act. I want to say 1978 if my memory serves me correct. And then again with Clinton with the 1992 Reform Act. Welfare Reform Act. And that didn't actually help black people. That kept us complacent and fucked up in a box. So thank you, no thank you. Aside from that, the Democrats, Joe Biden, actually authored the 1994 crime bill. And he was actually a staunch supporter of Strom Thurmond. Went to Senator Eastland's funeral, and his mentor was actually a grand wizard. What the fuck are we talking about? The lesser of the evils. The fact that black people actually think that this logically makes sense makes them unintelligent, or at the very least have a low ass IQ. The fact that the Democrats ain't did nothing for your black ass, but they shelling out money to Ukraine and all these illegal migrants on your tax-paying dollars, you must not give a fuck about your money. I do. Niggas like this, they actually focus on politics every 4 years, and the rest of the time is Miller time. So, yeah, while you poking light at this young man for saying some unintelligent conspiratorial shit as it pertains to Atlanteans and all that fly nigga shit, you're the same thing. You're just older. And it pertains to voting, not a mythical place like Atlantis. In any event, also he actually mentioned the fact that what he said, I'm gonna read it verbatim. Goddamn right I did. I don't remember requiring a cosigner either. Plus you won't ever catch me doing is going into another man's page worried about who he votes for. One, I didn't go on your page. I follow you because I like your comedy, so it came down my feed. Two, I'm not worried about who you're voting for. Just pointing at the fact that you are voting for makes you actually unintelligent, considering they haven't done shit for our group of people, and you motherfuckers keep going out there and voting for him. And I know you're gonna say, hey, well, he's the lesser of the two evils. Y'all hoe ass niggas forgot that Cornel West is on the ballot, but it don't matter because he's a third party. See, if more black people actually voted for the third party, then we would actually have some traction, or we possibly could get a new party. The fact that you stupid motherfuckers actually keep going for one or two choices, that's why we're doing the rat race or the hamster wheel that we're on. In any event, I'm out.